When you look at the differences between a man and a woman, you'll notice something very consistent. Men are generally not as sensitive as women, and women tend to be more sensitive than men. Now, this is not about superiority, it's about wiring. You see, a woman is naturally more emotionally tuned, and she connects emotion to situations before logic even begins to process what's happening. She feels first, and then she thinks. And before we go any further, let me introduce you properly to what you're watching right now. This is Charm Doctor, where we break down attraction, psychology, relationships, and the hidden dynamics between men and women in a way most people never talk about. If you're serious about understanding women at a deeper level, not just guessing, not just hoping, but actually knowing what drives attraction, hit subscribe right now. And in the comments, I want you to write one word: aware, if you're ready to start seeing what most men completely miss. This is why when a woman experiences something, she doesn't just register it, she feels it deeply before any other part of her mind catches up. And if you pay attention to real life, you will see this pattern everywhere, not just in relationships, but in everyday environments. For example, walk into almost any church or emotional gathering, and you will often notice that there are more women than men in most of these spaces. Women tend to be more expressive in emotional situations, more involved, and more connected to what is happening around them. And when something intense happens emotionally, they are usually the first to respond. Now take that same observation outside of that environment and bring it into everyday life. Imagine a situation where two people watch a sad video or hear a tragic story. Many men will process it quietly, maybe even logically, but a woman is more likely to immediately feel compassion and ask, "What can we do? How can we help? What action can we take?" That sensitivity is powerful, but like anything powerful, it has two sides. On one hand, it creates empathy, warmth, and emotional intelligence. This is why many women are naturally better at reading people, picking up on tone and noticing small emotional shifts that most men completely miss. But on the other hand, that same sensitivity can sometimes lead to overreaction or emotional overwhelm. For example, something small might happen, someone says something slightly off, and a man might brush it off and move on. But a woman may replay that moment in her head, analyze the tone, the intention, and the meaning behind it, and suddenly something small feels much bigger. This is where you start to see the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is emotional, immediate, and intense. Responding is controlled, thoughtful, and intentional. And because women feel things deeply, they can sometimes lean toward reaction instead of response. Another important point is that sensitivity can sometimes turn into suspicion. Now, this is where things get misunderstood. A lot of women believe they are being intuitive or perceptive, but sometimes it crosses into overthinking or imagining problems that are not actually there. And this is important to understand because real intuition is calm, it is quiet, and it is grounded. But suspicion is restless, it creates anxiety, it looks for problems even when there are none. So if you are a woman watching this, one of the most powerful skills you can develop is learning how to separate true intuition from emotional overreaction. Ask yourself, is this something I genuinely sense? Or is this something I am creating based on fear or insecurity? Now, at the same time, men make a huge mistake when it comes to this topic. They dismiss female sensitivity completely, and that is where many problems begin. Because here's the truth. What a man may not notice, even if it is right in front of him, a woman can often sense from a distance. And this is not magic, it is pattern recognition, emotional awareness, and attention to detail. For example, you might meet someone new and everything seems normal on the surface, but your partner feels uncomfortable around that person. She cannot explain it logically, but something feels off. Most men will ignore this because there is no proof, but time and time again, situations like this prove that her initial feeling was correct. This is why one of the smartest things a man can learn is to actually listen. Not just hear, but listen when his woman expresses concern. A very practical piece of advice is this. Before making big decisions, especially in business or relationships, involve your partner in the process. Not because she needs to understand every technical detail, but because she brings a different kind of intelligence into the situation. Take something simple, like meeting a potential business partner. Instead of handling everything alone, invite them to a casual dinner where your partner is present. Don't brief her, don't coach her, just let her observe naturally. And afterward, Ask her one simple question. What do you think? And if she says something like, I don't know, there is something off, don't dismiss it just because it is not backed by data. Take a step back, investigate more, ask deeper questions, because that something has saved people from making terrible decisions. And by the way, if you're a man who feels like you're losing control in key moments, especially in the bedroom, this is exactly where awareness becomes power. We've put together something called the Banana Book that helps you fix premature ejaculation and regain full control. But here's the part most people miss. We actually give a special discount code only inside our private Telegram community. So if you're serious about improving, don't just watch, join the Telegram through the link and unlock that access. There are countless real-life stories where men ignored that feeling and paid the price financially, emotionally, and even professionally. And this is something we talk about constantly on Charm Doctor, because understanding people is not just about logic, it is about awareness, perception, and emotional intelligence. Now let me give you a real-life type of scenario that illustrates this perfectly. Imagine you are invited to an event or opportunity that seems great on paper. Everything looks professional, the person sounds confident, and the opportunity feels big. You tell your partner about it, and instead of being excited, she hesitates. She cannot explain why, but something feels off. Your immediate reaction as a man might be to dismiss it because you are focused on the opportunity, the logic, the potential outcome. But what if that hesitation is picking up on something subtle? Maybe the way the person speaks, maybe inconsistencies, maybe something you overlooked because you were focused on the bigger picture. Ignoring that can lead to situations where you walk straight into problems you could have avoided. And this is why balance is everything. Women need to learn how to manage their sensitivity so it becomes a strength and not something that controls them. And men need to learn how to respect that sensitivity instead of dismissing it. Because when both sides understand this dynamic properly, it becomes incredibly powerful. You have logic and emotion working together. You have analysis and intuition balancing each other out, and that combination is what creates better decisions, stronger relationships, and a deeper understanding of people. So before you leave, I want you to be honest with yourself. After everything you just heard, do you usually trust your partner's intuition, or do you ignore it? Drop a comment below with I listen or I ignore. And if you made it this far and you're serious about becoming a man who understands women instead of being confused by them, hit subscribe and stay with Charm Doctor, because this is where you stop guessing and start knowing. So whether you are a man or a woman, the real lesson here is simple. Don't fight your nature, refine it. If you are a woman, don't lose your sensitivity, learn to control it. If you are a man, don't ignore her sensitivity, learn to respect it. Because the moment you understand how these two energies work together instead of against each other, everything changes.